All right, we want to welcome to the show. We're very excited. We have a young Canadian driver, Nico Christodoulou. Nico, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Well, thanks for coming in studio. Great to have a race driver in studio.
Yeah.
Well, Les, you want to start this because you met some gentlemen that introduced you to Nico.
That's right. So my buddies down at Harris Hill, run into them one night, chatting away. It's like, there's a kid down there cleaning house. I was like, cleaning house? What do you mean? He goes, no, open wheel, F4. This guy is clocking, and he is doing awesome. He's beating a lot of the locals that have strong reputation. Yeah, okay. Well, knowing the guys that were saying it, so that piqued my attention, did some digging around, and here's Nico.
I like this because we pride ourselves on this show for trying to find, young guys who are coming up. We had a young 21-year-old girl who's just last weekend who is doing the women's series or hoping to do the.
I remember that youngster
series.
Named Rossi.
Our first guest was Alexander Rossi,
Yeah.
and no one had really heard about him back then. And so, yeah, we pride on ourselves on the youngsters. I'm about to go to New Zealand. We've got a guy on the show as well later who is just 17, and he's going to be at the Toyota Racing Series. I do Macau every year, so I love it, and I love that all of us have the same interest in the guys coming up. Because how old are you now?
13, turning 14 in 2 months.
Okay, now, so explain to me, because I thought you had to be older to be able to do F4, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so I think it's 15, right?
Yeah, 15.
Okay, so how you sort of, so you're basically coming down here, because obviously it's too bloody cold up there.
Is that the difference between metric and American?
But I'm presuming then you're getting experience here, because I guess you can't really race in Canada, or can you?
You can in certain months, so only from, say, April to October, you can race in Toronto, maybe Montreal.
Yeah.
And that's mainly the most places where you can start driving, but up there, it gets cold after that, and you can't really drive.
Have you been to the Grand Prix in Montreal?
I've been twice, yeah.
Oh, good man. I've been
Awesome.
I've been a couple of times. It's a great Grand Prix.
It's a good race.
And what's interesting is Nico has been working and racing and testing in club series, not necessarily
Okay.
the full-fledged F4 group. And so that's how he gets his seat time in at this point. He mixes it up with the F2000s and things of that, and he's proven himself very well.
Honestly, I mean, and I know you'll know this, but we get asked, or the Brits get asked, why aren't there more Americans? Why aren't there more British drivers? And the bottom line is because the Spanish and the Brazilians start at 4, and they are racing cars at a very young age, and it's true. The younger the better. Ayrton Senna, everybody talks about how great he was, 3-time world champion. Well, he started at 4. Michael Schumacher, his father had a kart track. Lance Stroll, likewise, grew up in Canada,
Right.
but his dad had a racetrack. These are the advantages that, mere mortals, like I'm sure you are, don't get the opportunity to do. So, first and foremost, can I ask how did you get involved? I mean, why aren't you playing hockey? But you know what I mean? Why motor racing?
Since I was little, I always loved cars, racing. I always loved to watch it on TV. In my stroller, I always looked at the wheels, how they turn round and round and round. I always loved things to do with wheels, motors. So when I was 9, I started to get into cars, watch a couple races here and then, and
So what races would you watch? Would you watch Indy? Would you watch Hingetown and Indy?
Indy, Formula One, NASCAR, all that.
Okay, so a bit of Paul Tracy, bit of Hingetown. I'm just thinking of the Canadians that have obviously been successful. But well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I always ask the question then: when did you realise, or when did your parents realise? Because it's usually the parents that foot the bill in your early age. When did they realise that you were both serious and potentially good?
My first year of pro-type karting. So my first club racing is when I started to get fast. From the beginning of the year, I was at the back of the pack, and then started to get to the front of the pack near the end of the year to winning races.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And then you fast forward, he's got some championships under his belt. In less than a year and a half, he's into the F4 cars and turning hot laps with the best of them here at Harris Hill. So he goes to Mexico, with the as an exception, and he gets to test full-fledged FIA.
What,
F4
the race?
cars. Yes.
Whoa!
So he tests 3 times before race weekend. He gets the seal of approval. He's in the race. How cool is that,
Oh.
people?
On the Grand Prix weekend, in front of Formula One.
Right.
Oh, tell me about it. So that must have been just incredible.
Yeah, that was my favorite experience I've had in racing.
Wow. And so you're there. Did you see any of the Formula One guys?
Not really, no.
Yeah, they kind of come closeted, but
They had something to do that
but
weekend.
to be on the same track at the same weekend, I mean, there was over 100,000 people in the
Yeah,
track.
that was incredible.
Have you ever experienced anything like that?
No.
Okay, well, I gotta say, it doesn't come cheap.
Right.
Did you have some sponsors? What got you there?
I had my title sponsor, Absolute Interior. They helped me a long way through that race weekend. And, helped me all the way.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But it must
Thanks,
be
absolutely.
I was going to say it must be frustrating because you've picked a sport and it sounds like you know what you're doing, but you've picked a sport as you well know. You can't just get a hockey stick and some boots and go. This is an expensive sport and you do need sponsors. How much thought process have you put to the fact? I mean, the fact that you're doing media already is good, but you really have. That's going to be where the work is. I mean, there's a lot of naturally talented drivers, but it's the ones who it's all.